top down, smoking on a fat cigar. Cool breeze in my head, bittersweet smoke flying through the air. It's the way I feel, smoking on a fat cigar. Look at sweet mama watching me play guitar. She got long black hair and she's smoking on a fat cigar. Black silk stockings and the finest of white. Those curves and that stomacher, she looking so fine. It's the way I feel, smoking on a fat cigar. Fancy clothes, diamonds, and big fine cars wouldn't be the same without a big old fat cigar. Talking about the master plans that'll make us go far. Such a beautiful, magical dream. Look into the end, we're holding all the green. It's the way I feel, smoking on a fat cigar. Big old fat cigars. Big old fat cigar. Big old fat cigar. Fat cigar.
Well, everybody, that was Jeff Pritchell's Fat Cigar you've been listening to during that intro, and that means it's time for Not Just Blowing Smoke, the podcast that brings the wealth of knowledge and expertise and fun of Twin Smoke Shop right to you, wherever you are, whenever you want it. And that's Not Just Blowing Smoke. Even during the COVID pandemic, we do this for you. You can find us at our website, notjustblowingsmoke.com, and you can follow us here on Facebook, please, as well as on YouTube, Twitter, and Instagram at Not Just Blowing Smoke. And please be sure to subscribe to our podcast on Podbean, Spotify, iTunes, Google, wherever you get your podcast from. I'm Pastor Padron, and I've got a good crew here with us tonight, including Joe DesMarais, who's the New England broker for Southern Draw, all via Skype from various locations around New England. Hello, everybody. How is everybody doing?
What's up, guys?
Doing great, Pastor. Doing very good.
It's a talk show. Joe.
Yes,
Joe,
sir.
Tonight we're smoking the Rose of Sharon Lancero,
Yes, sir.
also called the Thorn, by Southern Draw. And according to the website, the cigar is named for Sharon Holt, the co-founder of Southern Draw Cigars. You want to tell us a little bit about this lovely little Lancero?
Oh, man. Delicious Lancero, 6.5 by 40, Ecuadorian, Connecticut. Delicious notes, floral, cedar, cocoa. It's my personal favorite vitola, and I'm a big Lancero guy, and the flavors are just tremendous in this particular format. Personal favorite, and this stick's been resting in my humidor for 2.5 years when it was first released, and smoking like a champ. I'm honored to be here today with you guys. Thank you again.
Hey, thanks. Thanks for being with us, Joe. You want to tell us a little bit about yourself, how you got into this whole thing of cigar brokering?
Sure thing, man. I'm a firefighter in the city of Providence, first and foremost, in my 20th year. But my true passion, I love in life, the cigar industry, and dying to get into it. Used to be on a podcast back in the day, Stogie Geeks, and right around that time, I had tripped over some Southern Draw samples in one of the local humidors here, and tried them, loved them. Caught a podcast with Robert Holt, the owner of the company, and just blown away by his message and where the brand was going, and doing everything correct. And I reached out to him and let him know, it's not just a hobby for me. I'm all in, and I thought I could get Southern Draw off the ground in Rhode Island with my connections, and just being a lounge rat in and around all the shops, going to the events, and felt I could get it going eventually in Mass, Connecticut, New Hampshire, and I was very fortunate. They gave me the shot, gave me the break to jump into the industry, and it's been the best decision of my life. It's the best. Get to hang with you guys and do what I love. So I appreciate it.
So tell me something. How does a firefighter, a man whose very definition is to put out fires, have an even greater passion for setting leaves on fire and then enjoying them? How do you reconcile those two callings of your life?
Oh, man. It's crazy. Two completely different aspects of my life, but I've always, it's all about the camaraderie and just, brotherhood of the leaf, sisterhood of the leaf, enjoying the cigars and the, those of you who are around enjoying the process. And it's the greatest form of relaxation, celebration. All the cheesy, outside the industry, people see it as cheesy phrases, but it's real. It's life,
I totally agree. Totally agree. What do your firefighting brothers think of the whole thing?
They love it. They wish they probably thought of the idea themselves, But hey, by nature, our lungs are already conditioned for smoke and this and that. So, I've only been smoking myself personally about 10 years, but I jumped right into smoking, really heavy right off the rip, and it was never an issue for me. But I find myself digressing as of late the last couple of years, getting back into some of the lighter offerings with the true flavor lies, like this Rose of Lancero, Rose of Sharon Lancero right here.
Yep. Now, he says that this cigar is named for Sharon. Now, I have a really hard time believing all that. There does seem to be some religious connotation to this. I mean, it's also called the Thorn. It's right on there. Right, I mean, is he calling Sharon a thorn, or is this some reference to Jesus, which I think it says Sola Deo Gloria on the cigar? I mean, come on. It's really named after Sharon? Come on.
Now, listen, so the brand is based out of Austin, Texas. And, the South tend to be a little more religious, religious inclined than anybody else. Yeah. But just phenomenal, down-to-earth, regular people. Sharon is a true peach. And, I mean, I don't.
Brown has no problem with the double language there. He has no problem with that.
No, none whatsoever.
Yeah. So, this is one of the reasons that we wanted to do something like this cigar tonight was kind of like you said, Joe. A lot of us on the show, I know the ladies are not in this whole thing, but Nick and Paul and Dave and myself, we tend to like the fuller bodied stuff, the stronger cigars.
Right.
And
right.
a lot of times we pass up things like this.
Right.
You know, there's so much going on here, and so I think so often we just like kind of having our taste buds assaulted. You
Right.
know, that we don't take the time to sit back and enjoy something where you kind of just have to sit and let the cigar do the talking to you, instead of like having the. It's almost like listening to something that's softer instead of something that's blaring in your ears. Does that make sense?
Sure. It does, and specifically this format, the Lancero, you really want to sit back if you have the time and just enjoy all the nuances and complexities bouncing around. And for myself, a particular day, running around doing the cigar thing, maybe you got an event in there. I could be upwards of 7, 8 cigars, maybe more, maybe less. But for me, I like to close, and most people like to start the day with a Connecticut, maybe a coffee, nice and easy. I also like to finish the day with a Connecticut, but it has to, for me, it's going to be a Connecticut that holds up at the end of the day, strong enough with, an immense amount of flavor. You're going to taste those nuances even into, 7, 8 cigars in, where you can enjoy it at the end of the night. And for me, that's where the Rose of Sharon
Reminds me of
lies.
Steve, our friend Steve Poirier. 7 or 8 cigars in, he would be like on the floor. I couldn't smoke a Connecticut. I never tasted a thing. I'm kind of like you, Joe. I can smoke one of Todos Los Dias cigars and then smoke something like this and go, ooh, that's got some nice light notes and balance to it and everything.
For sure. It's going to hold up, it's going to hold up at the end of the day. And not for myself, and I smoke everything. I smoke everybody's stuff. And, obviously a lot of sake stuff too. I like the heavy punch, but, that legit Connecticut, it's going to hold up at the end of the day with that flavor. You're going to be able to distinguish, and certainly whatever you're pairing alcohol wise, or it's going to play nice too.
Right. So my next question is, we're all, one of the reasons we're doing this, and and the social distancing and everything, we're all in different places. We're recording from different locations. How has the shutdown because of COVID-19 affected how you cigar broker? How are you managing with that? How are you changing how you're doing things in order to stay busy? And well, I have another question too, but why don't we start with that?
No, great question. First and foremost for me, it's, just been wrangling the phones, and not even as far as orders so much, just checking in on everybody, just like you guys, man. You guys are family to me too. And all the shops I'm in and out of, and just touching base with everybody, see how they're doing. If orders happen to materialize from that, perfect. Southern Draw has been aggressive with, offering 4-in-1s to shops, 20% off the discount for orders and all that. But I hate to get into that. I'm certainly not going to lead with that. It's on the table. Shops that, we cater to and we love and respect, they know that's on the table. But for the most part, it's just touch and base, see how everybody's doing, and anything I can do to help, I'm more than happy to jump in. We're all in it together, so just looking for the light at the end of the tunnel, man, when it's all said and done.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Thanks. I know a lot of us are drinking different things with this. I'm drinking this Fiddlehead IPA. I believe Pablo Maduro is drinking the same thing along with me. What is everybody else pouring with the cigar, may I ask? Nick, what about you?
I am drinking Lord Hobo Brewing Company Boom Sauce.
Boom.
It's a double IPA. This is actually the first time I've ever had it. I've seen it up at the bar at 724 Lounge. A lot of guys get it. It's a couple of their favorites. And this is the first time. Yeah, it's very popular. And it's a really good double IPA. It doesn't seem like a double IPA. It's not as hoppy, I guess. It's doing actually really good with the Lancero. I thought in the beginning that the double IPA a little bit of the fruit flavor that's in there, it's going to overshadow the cigar, but the cigar is actually doing very well. You get a really earthy espresso note, very nice, easy draw, very creamy smoke, a little bit of spice on the retrohale, and it's doing just fine. And I'm pairing it with a double IPA.
Nice.
Paul, what are? I know you're drinking what I am. How are you liking the pairing there?
I think the pairing is fantastic. Like the cigar on its own is creamy smooth. I got a little bit of a light nutty flavor, some nice
Nutty
light
flavor?
cedar as well. Nut flavor, yes, nutty flavor. Nick should know about that.
Some nuts.
But with the IPA is actually still bringing out a little bit of the sweetness, but it's pulling out a lot more of the woody earth tones from the cigar. So I'm really, really liking that very, very much.
Yeah, I'd have to agree with your assessment on that. The IPAs are not my normal go-to beer, but that's really bringing out some of the nice flavors in this cigar. That some cedar notes, wood notes, a little bit of leather. It's certainly the sour of the beer is contrasting with the natural sweetness of the cigar, and that's going very, very well. I'm liking that very much. Bree and Kendra, what about you? What are you pairing with the cigar?
So Bree and I are drinking a Sauvignon Blanc by Kim Crawford. So what's really interesting about this pairing, and we'll see if Bree agrees, is that this wine on its own was like super like grapefruit, like high acidity almost. So the earth in the cigar is really making it very balanced. It really mellows everything out, and it's really enjoyable.
And I definitely agree with that. I feel like the cigar is very grounding. It almost creates kind of a great pairing for like springtime into summer, which is right now. You kind of almost get a little bit of that like sour root, and then you puff the cigar, and it kind of mellows each other out. I've always been a big fan of Lanceros too, so that's just a plus.
Nice.
Great cigar.
Dave, what about you? What are you pairing it with?
I am pairing it with some Sam's Summer. And
Why am I not surprised?
It's got like the citrus sour. It's like a wheat beer, and it's bringing out the little bits of citrus in the cigar, like the cedar notes. A little bit of it's toning down like the nuttiness of the leatheriness of the cigar. The retrohale is actually pretty spicy with the beer. It's really nice. Pretty good pairing on my end.
Now, Joe, I know you went a lot higher end than the rest of us did. What are you drinking with your seventh cigar of the day?
So I got to be honest. So I did have to change. I changed it up just a little bit. The location. Did plan on drinking the Florida Cana 18, personal favorite with this cigar. Changed locations. Good buddy Johnny Lepore, manager at Hill and Harbor Cigar Lounge in Rhode Island. And what happened to be on tap, sipping a little Dalmore 12 right now, which complexity is a little bit more of a punch.
I knew
but
we were going to have a thought.
nice. but I find it's up and bring out the floral notes. And there's a little bit of a subtle bang involved with the Rose of Sharon Lancero. And subtle bang. It's pairing well right now. Yeah.
Very nice. Very nice. Let's see. A little bit about what's going on here at Twins. At this point, we're still doing curbside service. Both stores are open for that, and that's going very, very well for us. We're going to start doing something special. Next week, we're going to start a series of virtual events, and not just blowing smoke. We'll be kind of kicking those off on Fridays. And what that'll be is us interviewing people from cigars that we're going to be highlighting for the next week, and we're going to be announcing specials and deals on our show in advance so that you can take advantage of those things all next week using the curbside pickup. So Friday, May 1st, we're going to have Lauren Ferraro on from Ashton Cigars. And we're going to be announcing specials that Twins will be offering on Ashton Cigars for the week following the show. I'm really excited about that. Something that you all need to know is this is going to be a separate thing from the show. This is going to be done from 6 to 7 on Facebook Live next week. And the Not Just Blowing Smoke normal show where we smoke a cigar and smoke a pipe tobacco, that'll start at 7 like it always does. But from 6 to 7, it's just going to be myself and a few of the rest of us from Not Just Blowing Smoke interviewing Lauren. And we're going to be smoking the Ashton Symmetry Robusto in that first hour. And I'm really looking forward to that. We're going to be trying to pair that with some Balvenie Double Wood. And I'm looking forward to that too, to be honest.
Oh,
That's
yeah.
Yes. Oh, yes.
Yeah. So what are some more of our thoughts on the cigar and pairing here? Are people really enjoying it? I'm about to start my second, third here. And very nice, woody, some natural sweetness, just a little bit of earth. And like I said, the beer, the IPA is really bringing out a lot of the wood, cedar, leather kind of notes in the cigar, and it's pairing really, really nice. It's not overpowering the cigar at all.
I'm amazed.
Yeah,
at
I would
how
have to agree with you.
One at a time.
Ladies first.
Ladies first.
Oh no, I was just saying I'm amazed at how natural it feels. I feel like normally by this point in the cigar, you kind of, all the flavors start to accumulate and it starts to become new. It's a good thing most of the time. But this one has become even more solid. I feel like the sweet is very natural. It's not too much. There's no aftertaste. It's just a very like pleasant walk in the park kind of smoke.
Very nice. Paul, can you top that kind of summary?
I can. I'm going to defer to Nick.
I can't beat that either, but I'll give it my best shot.
Go for it.
With the double IPA, and the Lancero is doing a very good job. It's definitely, I wouldn't say a walk in the park, but I'd definitely say a walk on the beach.
A little romantic.
I'm a hopeless romantic.
You can go right now.
Definitely getting more earthy. I'm pretty much almost done.
Why am I not surprised?
Yeah. Well, it's a very easy draw. And I'm a little bit of a power smoker. So, but
Little
earth, wood, a little bit of spice. The drink is actually bringing out some more natural sweetness out of the cigar, and it's really nice. Like I said, drinking a double IPA. I know you guys are doing a IPA. Ladies are doing a wine. Mr. Samuel Adams over there is doing the Sam Summer. But with the double IPA, it's not too heavy, and they're coinciding very, very, very nicely. Very good. They're coinciding.
Good vocabulary, Nick.
Oh, thank you. I was practicing earlier.
Nick, would you say that the beer?
What's up, Paul?
I was just going to ask Nick. Does he think that the beer is very quaffable?
$3 word.
Let me get my dictionary out and see what that word means.
Yeah.
But I would concur, Paul.
Oh my God.
No, I think the Fiddlehead IPA is actually making the retrohale, the spice in the retrohale, a lot more smoother.
Yeah, I love the retrohale on this. It's really, really nice. It's got some really nice flavor to it. It's very smooth, just a little bit of spice. It's very, very good. It's a great, great cigar for that. Pastor Padron's cigar confession. This is actually going to, I think, follow up real well with some of the comments that we've had here. My confession tonight to you, Kendra, my confession tonight to you is that for a very long time in my smoking career, I've been smoking cigars for over 20 years. I missed out, I think, because I just avoided the Lancero size in cigars. I was going for the bigger ring gauge, the larger sizes. You know, if it was under a 50 ring gauge, I really wasn't interested in it. If it was less than 5 inches, I really wasn't interested in it. So I was going for the Toro size, Churchill size. You know, for a while there, I was totally hooked on the LFD digger and smoking the Maduro version of that all the time, which took me like 3 to 3.5 hours to smoke one of those things. And since I've been back in the cigar business over the last, 5 years of my life, I've really been coming to appreciate the smaller ring gauge cigars and vitolas that people normally overlook, like this Lancero here. This is a fantastic size, and I'm just kicking myself for thinking, why would I want to pay for that skinny little twig? It's a great, great size, and there's a lot that goes on in these that you just don't get in bigger ring gauge cigars. And so what I thought I would do is ask everybody what they thought about Lanceros in general, what they like about them, and maybe talk about what their favorite Lancero is. Paul, you want to start?
Yeah, so I never smoked Lanceros until I started working here at Twins a couple of years ago. I was just like you, Dan. I went for more of the Toro, the Gordo type cigars. It was more of a perceived value. But since I started working here and we started to experiment with different cigar sizes, the Lancero certainly found a way into my humidor. This one particular, I think, is my absolute favorite Connecticut Lancero. It's incredible. We talked about very smooth, creamy, wonderful flavor. Just a very, very smooth cigar. My all-time favorite has got to be the 724 Lancero, though. I do have to admit that.
Yep, that's a fantastic size. That's something too. Kurt is really big on the Lancero size. We have at Twins a number of Lanceros from different lines that you just aren't going to see anywhere else. And let's face it, most of the time, Lanceros don't sell in shops, which is why they're not carried. For one of the reasons that Paul said, perceived value. Another reason, people think they're girly cigars, or that it will look funny if they're trying to smoke it because it's so thin and long. So there's a perception that people are trying to get there too. But you come to Twins, and Lanceros are a big mover, and certainly the original 724 Lancero is a fantastic cigar. It keeps getting awesome ratings. I totally agree with Paul. It's a great choice. I'd like to know what Bree thinks about this whole business.
So, as I mentioned before, Lanceros are one of my favorite types of cigars. My first Lancero ever was the 1874 Lancero from 724. And ever since then, I've noticed that not a lot of companies are really putting out Lanceros, it seems. So this one, I think, is my third or fourth Lancero that I've ever smoked, and I'm still very impressed. I'm not sure if it's the way that it smokes. Oh, cocktail delivery part 2. Not sure if it's just the way that it smokes. It seems to ash very well. It burns very well. I think it's kind of an underrated size, definitely.
Yeah. Nick, what about yourself?
Started smoking Lanceros maybe 5 years ago. Been smoking for a while. And I stayed away from the Lanceros. Like Paul said, it was like, oh, well, I can get a bigger cigar for less money, or for the same amount of money, you get more tobacco. But once I got turned on to Lanceros, it opened up a whole new world for me. You get more flavor, more intensity. I think you get the true flavor of the tobacco that they're using. And I've been on Lanceros. I'm not really a big ring gauge guy anymore. I will smoke a 70 ring gauge, like an Asylum or a Double Digger, or, you know what I mean, a 724 Gagger or something along those lines. But I always find myself coming back to Lancero. The flavor that comes with that Lancero is, I think it's second to none. And I've been smoking them ever since. I've smoked this one a few times. Obviously, a 724 Lancero, both the original, and the 1874. I've smoked pretty much everything down the line. But I would have to say my favorite Lancero is probably going to be the Christoph Ligero Maduro Lancero. That, for me, is always held a very special place in my heart. It was one of my first Lanceros, and that's kind of like my first love. You know what I mean?
I think so, but I'm not going to open that door. Dave?
Okay.
Lanceros are like a totally new thing to me. The first time I had one, I don't think I was really prepared for it, like cigar knowledge wise. I don't think I appreciated it. But as the years and months have gone by, I definitely prefer a smaller ring gauge to bigger ring gauges now, because you're able to appreciate the wrapper versus the binder. I think a perfect example of that is like the Super Corona Superfly. It's night day difference between the 660 and the Corona size. It's amazing, and I think the Rose of Sharon is no different.
Yep. Joe, I'm interested in your take, having heard all of us here talk.
Yeah.
I just shared my thoughts on Lanceros. I think if I was going to throw out a favorite of mine, it would probably be the because I don't want to copy everybody here. The 724 Lanceros are totally awesome. Well, I'm going to throw out another one there that I think is great, and that's the Aladino Elegante Maduro.
Really solid
That's
choice.
Fantastic Lancero, and 750 here at Twins. It is a great cigar. Yep. But Joe, what are your thoughts on this? And do you agree, disagree? Do you have, maybe you can give some explanation too about why Lanceros tend to be more money than a Robusto or a Toro when it's looking like less tobacco? Sure thing.
So for myself, I absolutely love the Lancero format, smaller ring gauge. The flavor is immense. And echoing Dave's very humble comments there, up here in New England, everybody tends to migrate to the larger ring gauge, Tony Soprano style, more bang for your buck. But those who know, and it's part of our my job, the shops too, kind of educating the consumer on the value of the Lancero, where that true flavor lies. And and you guys kind of stole a little bit of my thunder, but the first Lancero I ever fell in love with, Brother Kurt Kendall stuff, man. That really put the Lancero on the mark for me. Just phenomenal sticks, and personal favorite, the Jacob's Ladder top rung Lancero. Got here. I'm smoking that next. And so shameless plug.
My cigar of the day.
But beyond that, the El Huehuense original Lancero is right up there for myself too. Definite box purchase, immense amount of flavor packed into that Lancero size, and it takes time. It's never going to convert somebody right off the hop on the Lancero, but take time. Educate somebody on the positives of the Lancero and where that true flavor lies in that small format. You got them for life, and they're going to enjoy it. They're going to pass it on. They're going to educate their friends, and personal favorite, man. I love it. I would not advise the Lancero be smoked in the car with the window open. You're going to be wearing that ash like nobody's business. I burn holes through all my pants. I'll still do it, knowing the repercussions of a nice windy drive. But
well, you know the other fire. You got the hotline to go to the firefighters. You're going to get help right away. We'll get out there with the hose and everything, hose you down and all that stuff.
Yeah, you're right though.
Yeah.
Echo your comments, Dan. It's not the most manly cigar to pick up, and not the most comfortable to handle. But when you smoke it, you enjoy it. You taste all those tightly packed flavors and nuances. It's like no other. It's the best format, I believe.
Yeah, I think the secret to Lanceros is understanding that it's a sipping cigar. It's not a cigar that you take these long, hard drags on. It's really something that you kind of gently pull a little bit into your mouth and really just kind of sip at it for a while.
Right.
So when you're smoking it right, it's not going to burn hot. It's not going to be gone in 20 minutes like you think, just because it's so thin. It's not a long cigarette. You're just supposed to kind of gently pull on it. And the flavors are so much better when you take these things slow.
Sure. I'm going to tip my cap to Robert Holt. You went with the 6.5 by 40 size on all his Lanceros, and they never tend to burn hot. They burn correct, smoke like a champ, and that subtle tweak in his eyes would do the trick. And for me, they absolutely have never any issues, construction or combustibility. They burn like a champ every time.
When you say that subtle little tweak, what do you mean by that?
Just from the traditional Lancero size, Southern Draw came down to a 6.5 by 40 as opposed to the 7 by 38.
Right.
That subtle tweak all day, and I smoke everything. I smoke everybody's stuff, not just what I rep. And most tend to burn correct, but there will be issues. Tend to be a little bit hot towards the back third. Southern Draw stuff, shameless plug. They burn correct every time. There's never an issue for me anyway. So
certainly, I'm not having.
I appreciate that
with mine. The burn's great.
From the Cigar Geek side, and to echo Nick's statement earlier, I tend to smoke a little bit faster, a little bit harder, and there's still never an issue. It's cool to the touch right till the end. So
that's cool.
Awesome.
Yep. So what are our final verdict on this cigar here? The Thorn, the Lancero by Rose of Sharon Southern Draw. What do we think?
Very,
I'm
very
in my
easy.
final third. Sorry, ladies, you go ahead.
Nobody puts Paul in the corner.
It's like a
I'm
show.
so used to going first.
Nobody puts Paul in the corner.
Oh, man.
All right, ladies first.
Yes, please. Thank you.
Yeah, and in my opinion, it sneaks up on you. It's very easy to smoke. I don't think I've ever smoked a cigar that fast. Just because you keep puffing it and then all of a sudden you're wired and it's gone.
All right, Paul.
So,
Ooh,
So,
Come on.
Kendra's going to say something. That's fantastic.
Let her talk.
So I'm excited to try this cigar again with a Scotch. Me and Joe are Scotch buddies, and
yes.
I love the pairing that I had tonight, but I really, my gut tells me this will go well with a 12-year single malt for sure. So I excited to try this again. It was an excellent cigar, and same as Bree, Lancero one of my favorite sizes. So yeah.
Awesome. Thank you, guys.
Thumbs up from the Kendra.
Yeah.
Now you can talk.
So I'm entering the final. The cigar construction, burn, drawer has been flawless, outstanding. I'm getting a lot more of that cedar flavor as I enter the final third of the cigar. And that's not the drink pulling it out. That's just the natural sweetness of the cigar. It's really, really fantastic. You know, a lot of creaminess, earth, just outstanding cigar. I'd absolutely give it 2 thumbs up, way up.
Nice. Appreciate it.
Nick?
I definitely agree with Paul. Definitely 2 thumbs, way up. If I had more than 2 thumbs, I'd give it more than that. But
You don't have a
burn.
thumb?
I don't. I cut it off at an early age. Construction, burn, flavor. It keeps up with the double IPA. It's a hell of a cigar. Unbelievable. Really, really good. Definitely recommend it to anybody that's looking to maybe switch up the cigar size as far as, 50, 52 and want to try something different on a Lancero. Definitely recommending this to any of our customers that call ahead.
Dave?
Yep. I'm really liking the Rose of Sharon Lancero. I think my pairing with the Sam Adams has gone really well with it. The citrusy, lemoniness of the beer has really increased the retrohale, making it more floral and spicy. It's been an absolute pleasure to smoke. There's barely anything left. The burn's been absolutely perfect. And it's definitely I'm gonna add this puppy into my daily rotations. Absolutely, awesome. Man.
Daily rotations.
Yeah, baby.
Daily.
Thanks, Dave.
All right. Well, I certainly have enjoyed this. I'm smoking it all the way to the end. I had to take the label off and everything. And it's performed really, really well all the way down. No construction issues at all. And looking at everybody else's cigars as they've been smoking, it looks like no one's had any issues either, which is good. Very nice, smooth. There's a creaminess to it from that Ecuadorian Connecticut wrapper. But the Nicaraguan Dominican tobaccos provide some really nice gentle body to this cigar. It's a kind of it's much more medium than you think that it would be, being a Connecticut. And part of that, I think, has to do with the size of the cigar. The Lancero, I think, tends to be a little bit stronger than the Toro would be, or the Perfecto or the Gordo of this cigar. It's gone very, very well with the IPA. And frankly, I think I've enjoyed the IPA more because of this cigar. The way that it's been handling the IPA, Fiddlehead IPA, has been really, really nice. So I can really recommend this cigar myself. Very, very nice. Well done.
Well said.
Danny,
well thank you, sir.
And Joe, thank you so much for your time and being with us on the first half of our show. We really appreciate it. It's awesome. We miss you, man.
Thank you, guys. I'm totally humbled and honored to be on the show, and I really miss you guys as well. And last parting statement for anybody that's listening: please support your brick and mortar. If you don't, they won't be here when it's all said and done. So do the right thing and take care of those who take care of you. Appreciate it.
Absolutely. Joe, I don't know if you can see
Joe.
this.
Very, very much, man.
Joe, I don't know if you can see this, but I had to put it on a match.
My man, old school. I love it.
I had to put that on. Had to put it on a match, man. That thing is still holding true. Still got some good flavor out of it, and I'm gonna keep going with this until I'm smoking the match.
Appreciate it. Wish you guys tremendous success moving forward too. The great show, and thank you for having me.
Thank you, Joe.
Thanks, Joe.
Thanks, brother.
Appreciate it, guys. Take care.
All right. Take care.
Bye.
Diehl. It is a Virginia tobacco, and from the tin it says, a delicious blend of the finest red and bright Virginias pressed to perfection and sliced into flakes. And that is very true. It is a very good description of what this tobacco is. It is, of course, manufactured by Cornell Diehl. There's only Virginia in this blend here. There's no flavoring. It is a flake, which means that the blend of Virginias that they have put together have been pressed, aged, and made into cakes. And then those cakes have been sliced into what are called flakes, which are what you see in your tin there. You can see that those are the flakes. And we are doing a special pairing with this tonight. And I'm looking at what the ladies have in front of them. And it's not at all like the stuff that was delivered to me. And I'm wondering what Kendra did differently to make her stuff so much more classy than what she gave to Pastor Padron. It just seems wrong. But tell us, Kendra, what is it that we're supposedly drinking with this tobacco together?
All right, Dan. Well, if I knew you wanted edible flowers, then I would have provided that. But Bree and I have a fancy girly drink, and you guys are drinking something very similar on the rocks. So I'm going to give a shout out to my... What?
What makes your drink fancy girly?
Okay, so we have edible flowers, which is the girliest part of it, and we made ours. We made ours with egg white instead of on the rocks with soda. So that's really the biggest difference. But we have Empress 1908 gin, which is a beautiful indigo color, and Saint Germain lemon juice. You guys are drinking it with club soda on the rocks, and like I said, Bree and I have egg white in a coupe glass. So my brother is on the call right now, and his girlfriend Stephanie actually gave me a heads up. The gin she suggested isn't available in New Hampshire, but Empress 1908 was a good substitution for that. Excellent, and I hope that it goes well with the pipe. Cheers. Cheers.
And it's chemistry too. It changes color when you add lemon juice.
It's true.
So.
Okay. All right.
Paul, the girly version.
Paul, are you drinking the girly version?
No, I'm not, right? This is not the girly version, Kendra, right? This is a straight up one, right?
You have to drink a manly version.
Yes, I'm drinking a manly version in the
new glass.
Nice 724 cocktail glass, everyone. Look at that, huh?
That's great. Those are brand new to the shop.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's big too.
That's what she said.
Oh boy, this show just keeps going these ways that I just can't. Okay, let's see. Nick, what are you drinking that you still had some left?
Yeah, I didn't drink it all. I still got mine.
Oh, good. You did. You behaved yourself. I'm pleased.
I behaved myself. Yes.
Proud of you, boy.
Thank you. So I got the girly drink. So it has that gin, lemon juice, and club soda on ice, and it's got some sweet tang to it. And it's going pretty good with the pipe tobacco right now. Getting a lot of sweetness across the board. Very nice.
Dave, what about yourself? Are you drinking another?
I am also drinking the purpley stuff.
The purpley stuff.
The purpley stuff.
That's so specific.
Yes, and it's bringing out the raisiny dried fruitness of my tobacco. The opening night. There's a little bit of hay in there. The retrohale is pretty floral. It's really good. I love this stuff. This is, I think it's tied with the original Carolina Red for me. This is just awesome. I love it.
Yeah, I would have to agree. The elderflower in the drink is bringing out a lot more of that sweetness from the Virginias. It really, really is making it pop really, really nice.
I'm enjoying it myself. This is a nice, rich Virginia blend, and this was really made for people who love Virginias and to be a kind of a tobacco that people who are maybe just getting into pipe smoking would be able to start with, and at the same time something that Virginia lovers who were maybe more full-bodied smokers would really get into as well, because there's so much going on with this. Nice, medium-bodied, lots of kind of stewed fruit kind of notes. There's some hay, some bread going on. There's some nice little bit of spice. The room note on this is very bready, very hay, that kind of those kind of notes. I've had 3 different bowls of this before the show started today in various sized pipes. And I'm smoking it right now in my 7L Punta Oro 320. And I'm finding that larger sized bowls do well with the flake. If you're just gonna kind of bend the flakes in half and stuff them into your pipe, they work really, really well with that. I'm wondering how other people prepared the pipe tobacco. Did other people just kind of rub it out back into ribbon and then put it into the pipe, or did you take the flakes and just kind of stuff them in there and light them that way?
Yeah, I rubbed it out, Dan.
You rubbed it out?
Of course you did, Paul.
Of course you did, Paul.
See, you made the ladies smile, Paul. That's good. Dave, what did you say?
I just folded them in half and stuck it in, Dan.
Wow. Nick, what did you do?
Well, I just jammed mine in the hole. So I just
here we go.
I just it's what I do. So I just jammed it in there.
It's what I do. I
didn't rub it out.
And then I
think you can top that, Bree and Kendra.
Well, I didn't feel a need to rub it out or fold it, so I just threw it in there. So, and it's smoking fine.
Bree and Kendra, would you please bring this show back to some kind of more wholesome family?
Or not.
I'm going to write you up for your unprofessionalism.
I, for one, did not rub it out at all. I just gave it a little poke. A few little pokes.
Oh my gosh.
Honestly, I shoved it in there probably too much because I was a little clogged at first.
Your pipe was a little clogged, so you had to unclog the pipe.
She had to back it out. She had to back it out,
start over,
and then proceed.
Kurt, this is what happens when I give them full drinks.
Be careful.
We need to stop that. Yeah, half drinks from now on. I'm really liking this gin cocktail here. It's going very, very well, and it's got to be the prettiest looking gin I've ever seen. I've never seen, and I'll be honest, I'm not, a big, huge gin freak. I don't go into the liquor store and stroll up and down the gin aisle and look at, but I've never seen that kind of, you called it indigo blue, Kendra. It was a beautiful, beautiful color. I mean, I want to go out and get it just because it looks so cool.
Yeah, that's the butterfly pea flower. So it's basically like tea made with flower petals. And what's really neat is that it changes color as you're mixing it. So you add citrus and it changes to like a bright purple. So it's really cool stuff. I'm not a big gin person either, but gin does make nice craft cocktails.
I'd honestly call this pairing Little House on the Prairie between the drink and the tobacco, because
Little House on the Prairie, yeah.
Yeah, because this the drink, it's very, very floral, but not in an overbearing way. And then when you start smoking the tobacco with it, it brings out like that spice, but it's still it smells like a campfire off the bat. But once you start smoking it and
And what is it that you've picked up tonight, Paul?
So I found this story on the Breyer Report. From businesses, but will issue a shutdown order if businesses continue to ignore the warning letters. And they said, we absolutely feel like we're in the right, and we absolutely have a fundamental right to be open and stay in business, says the owner. So basically what he's saying is, even though he lives in a progressive state, like, don't forget, Colorado is the first to allow for marijuana to be sold legally, both medicinal and recreational. But because he's a non-essential smoking lounge, he's been told to close. And so it actually was an update earlier this week because he was given a final warning letter and he had to shut his business down until the state decides at a later date to open up the non-essential businesses. So it kind of rings home because we live in a state that we were told initially we were going to have to close because we were considered non-essential. But our governor realizes that businesses, if they can remain open. And we were fortunate enough to be one of those, and we're offering our curbside pickup. And he actually offered them the ability to do curbside pickup in place of customers coming in, but he was told that that was not an option.
Wow.
So, yeah, so it really is, it's really an incredible story when you really think of it. And I just wanted to see what everyone else's thoughts were on that.
Yeah, that's I think that's really good. Yeah, I know a lot of stores have feel like they've had to shut down. And you know, I know we were, you know, very concerned about what was going to happen, how long we'd be shut down, and echoing, you know, your sentiments, Paul. We're very, very grateful for New Hampshire Governor Sununu for giving us a way to stay open and doing the curbside service during this time. It's awesome that we're still able to do that. And I totally understand where that guy is coming from. I don't understand why you can still get pot. How can that be a necessary, you know, essential business, or going to a microbrewery? You know, you're not just talking about a liquor store, right? You're talking about a microbrewery can stay open, but the cigar shop can't. You know, and my big, you know, argument has always been, you know, you drink alcohol, you know, you smoke pot, you know, and you do that enough, and you're no longer able to drive your car, operate heavy machinery. You black out, you know, you wake up with hangovers, you do all sorts of weird stuff. I don't know anything that's happened weird after people have had 7 or 8 cigars. You know what I mean? I can still get in the car and be totally fine. I don't treat my wife any different, my girls any different. You know, if I had 7 or 8 cocktails, it would be a whole different story. It would be a new kind of Pastor Padron that's never been seen before, that would probably be better if he were never seen again. But I'm totally with this guy, and I hope that Colorado does the right thing. What do the rest of you think? I'm thinking, Nick, why don't you give us your thoughts on this?
Well, I feel for the guy. He does. I don't know if he's being singled out or what, and I don't know how many shops are in that area. But for him to stay open and be, you know, mad at the government that they're not treating him like the brewery behind him and like the liquor store, I don't really see a difference. It's something, you know, everybody, you know, people are coming in and interacting and, you know, picking out alcohol and stuff like that. So I can't really see a big difference, because the customers are gonna do that. They're gonna go in, pick out their cigar, pay for it, and leave. So I really feel for the guy, and I don't think they really kind of should have singled him out like that. That's his livelihood. He has to, you know, pay his bills just like everybody else, and he has to support his family. You know, I think they should have let him open, or at least, you know, have curbside.
At least do the curbside, right? Yeah.
Right.
Dave, what about
right.
you?
I mean,
what are your thoughts?
I think the whole thing is really unfortunate. I feel like, you know, the guy is totally entitled to be able to do curbside. I think the government should not be involved in it so much. As far as, I feel like if safety is put first, the business should be able to remain open. I don't see there being any difference between that and like a supermarket. where, some people might automatically categorize supermarkets as essential. You can still go into a supermarket and buy a pack of gummy bears, which is most definitely not essential. So because they can't mandate that stores only sell essential items, I don't think they can mandate that a certain store is really like non-essential. It also depends on your lifestyle. If you're a person that, like lives on a farm, going to a grocery store, sometimes really isn't essential. You don't go to one, you are the grocery store, so I don't see how you can blanket a ruling like that. I think it's really unfortunate.
Ladies, do you have thoughts on this, or are you too blitzed now to comment?
Guys, we're not like you guys.
I guess the only thing that I could add to this is that I think it's hard when, you're thinking about like the alcohol piece of it. So for breweries, liquor stores, whatever, you have to consider that alcohol withdrawal is a very, very serious thing and it can be fatal. So I do understand why they're going to keep breweries, liquor stores available still for purchase. And then also, like, as far as dispensaries go, I mean, there are people with medical marijuana cards because they're in severe pain, and that seems to be something that helps them. But I certainly think that shop should be able to deliver curbside for sure. It should still be able to generate some type of business in a safe way.
Definitely. It's it's more so about, I think, changing the practices and how you're delivering product to people rather than trying to shut down entire companies. Because curbside, even from what we've seen here at Twins, seems to be working really, really well. And from what we've seen even at other shops. So I don't think it's very fair that there's any reason that they shouldn't, so long as people are following proper precautions and staying healthy, that they shouldn't allow that to continue.
Excellent. Paul, what were you going to say? What's your response to all this feedback?
Well, just really taking it a step further. We've all seen a week or so the government stimulus package that they passed a few weeks ago not really helped the small business owners. Unfortunately, larger corporations were in on that, and they ended up taking the bulk of that money to help with their businesses. And a lot of the small mom and pop stores hired. So I'm a big believer that the government should not be allowed to tell any particular business owner, specifically if he's willing to comply with the guidance that they've given, the distance in the store and allowing only one person. That should be enough. That should be enough. He's doing the right thing. He's doing the right thing. Support his family. He's trying to support his family. And he's getting any help from any other sources.
Yeah. Very true. Very true. Thank you, Paul, for that. Thank you, Paul, for that bit of news there. The discussion from that. What's our thoughts on the pipe tobacco here? Now that we're about halfway through the bowl, is it changing for any of you? Are you still enjoying it? Not enjoying it? What's your take on it right now? What's your take on it right now? Dave, why don't I start with you this time?
It's been pretty straightforward through the bowl, Dan. It hasn't really changed much. It's been the same through the bowl, which I think is also something to say for it. The drink and the pairing is absolutely phenomenal. It's really bringing out, to echo what I said earlier. Well, it stayed the same. So I have nothing new to say. It's been still getting the hay and the raisins with a little bit of bread in the background. The retrohale is still very floral. I'm totally enjoying it. I'm enthralled.
Nick, what about yourself?
I'm loving the tobacco in the cocktail. I'm getting really deep sweet notes. And now that I'm about halfway down the bowl, I'm getting more floral notes with the drink, and and a little bit of spice on the retro hail. A little bit of spice on the retro hail. Unbelievable pairing. Unbelievable. You would never think. I'm not a gin drinker. I'm not a gin drinker. Whoa.
Well,
you're all right, Denny. You're all right, Denny.
Yeah.
So I'm not a gin drinker. I would never drinker. I would never buy a bottle. Go out and buy a bottle. But I'm definitely intrigued in this cocktail that I'm enjoying. To go out and get or this particular gin and mix it up and mix it up and have some opening night.
Nice. What about you ladies? What do you think there?
So you want to know about Kendra's retro hail this week?
I'd love to. Do tell.
Yes. We all want to know about Kendra's retro hail, especially after she cleaned out her pipe.
Has nothing to do with my grandfather this week. No, it's really enjoyable. It's like spice, raisins, plum, raisins. Very good. Yeah. Very good. Yeah. I think I prefer the retro hail than just the retro hail than just the straightforward.
I'm getting on the tongue. It's good spice though. It's not overpowering, and I'm still in my little house on the prairie, very much because the floral notes from the drink, they come in and kind of lay right over the spice of so I think it's really the perfect pairing. There's I'm trying to figure out exactly what it is on the X, but it balances very well.
For me, it's on the finish with this. It seems like that the flavors for me are getting a little bit deeper as we're going into the bowl. They're getting a little bit richer, a little bit stronger. It's still going very nicely with the drink. I think this gin really does play well with the sweetness in the tobacco, and the floral notes in the gin really, I think, play well with the spices that are in the Virginia here. I'm enjoying it very, very much. I now have something else that I want to try doing with everybody, just to kind of lighten everything up. This might be something that we do on a weekly basis, and that is I want to ask everybody a question and go around and see what everybody's answer would be. And I think we'll start with Kendra, and then go to Bree, since they're together, and then David, Nick, and end with Paul. And the question is this: would you rather have skin that changes color with your emotional state at the moment? Or would you rather have skin that every day was covered in tattoos that showed everybody what you did the day before? And every morning you'd wake up with a new set of tattoos where everybody would see what you did the day before. So it's either that or everybody knows what you're feeling at any given moment. Which would you rather? Kendra.
All right. I'm going to go with I would rather have my skin color change with my emotions, because I feel like that's already accurate. I feel like anybody knows what I look like, exactly what I'm feeling. So I'm gonna go with that. That's just the norm for me. We're gonna go with that.
You have a very open face, Kendra. It's true.
Yeah. May as well just put some color in with it.
Bree, what about yourself?
I'm gonna take the opposite I'm going to take the opposite stance and say I would rather, because, okay, so hypothetically, are these tattoos on your face? Are they on your body?
Everywhere. Everywhere.
Like if I ate
Everybody's going to see what you did the day before. Everybody.
Oh, yeah.
Hot dog on her face.
In my head, I'm thinking, okay, I can cover these tattoos with sleeves. I can put on a shirt. So it wouldn't be the worst thing because I already have a lot of tattoos. So they'd kind of be overlapping anyway. And I might be able to hide them a little better than most people would. So, and I also wouldn't tell anybody about this condition because, you know, say I did something I didn't want anybody to know about, then they would just think it was a stupid tattoo. They wouldn't know.
Uh-huh. Right.
So that's my decision.
Right.
So long as the tattoo is not on my face.
Of course she
No.
wants more tattoos. I mean, come on.
Yeah, free new fresh tattoos every morning. That's totally Bree.
Yeah.
David, what about yourself?
Well, I'm gonna deep think this one. So let's say that with the tattoo one, it's worldwide. So you wouldn't have tattoos because, you know, you wouldn't even think about it because everybody's already got, you know, their day before plastered all over them.
No. It's just you.
Pretty much.
It's just you.
It's just
It's
me?
not a worldwide phenomena. It's just you.
If it's just me, I think I'd probably go with the tattoos because there would be a lot of really cool art on there, man. Like, it also depends, like, you know, what type of resolution are we talking about? Is it going to be like tattoo art, or is it going to be like exactly like what you saw art? You know,
It's good. It's a
if
good
it's
question.
tattoo art, I think a lot of people would be able to see a lot of Borderlands lately. You know,
Yeah.
there'd be a lot of video games all over it.
Sam
Yeah.
Adams. That's all they would see.
Sam Adams.
It'd be
Adams.
He'd have a back tattoo of Star Wars.
You know, so I'd definitely go with the tattoos. I'm not afraid of who I am.
Or HVAC equipment. That's what your tattoo would be today.
He'd have that on his
Everything, the
chest.
tattoos would be pretty uneventful. Just be sleeping.
Yeah, right.
Sam's tattoos would be that. Yes, it would be very boring to see Sam's tattoos. What about yourself?
Me?
Yeah.
Oh
Nick.
boy, that would probably be changing colors.
Changing colors. So your
It
mood.
would be. It'd be the mood thing. It'd be the mood thing. My tattoos
Good,
wouldn't be.
because if you had the tattoos, all it would say is another day, another smoke.
It would. It would. It would say that. It would say that across my chest with a 724 cigar underneath.
Mhm.
But yeah, I'd have my skin change with my mood. I think it would be
Yeah.
quite a scene. I think
Quite a scene.
Quite a scene.
You'd want that for the attention-getting aspect of it.
Maybe, I don't know.
Nick's purple. What does that mean? It means he's happy.
Be happy all
Purple
the
Nick
time.
is a happy Nick. Paul, what about yourself?
I'm gonna go with Nick and Kendra on this one. I'd rather have my skin change with my emotion. I think I'm a pretty level-headed guy. My skin probably wouldn't change that much, except for maybe the occasional, customer or person that kind of riles you. And then if I turn really red, they know to stay away, leave me alone. So
That'd be most
I'm
of
going
the
with
day.
that. Whatever.
That's our new customer
Now
service.
it's time for the pastor to spill his guts.
What?
Please say tattoos.
Yes.
Oh, I'd love to.
Yeah,
Danny
what are the
tattooed
pastors
up
gonna
would be
do?
awesome.
What would I do? No, this is my question
Yes,
to
Dan.
you. You
Yes.
don't get an answer from me. This is my question.
Yeah. Yo,
It's
that doesn't-
only
do it
fair.
in
We need to hear from you, brother.
Yeah.
I would probably do the changing skin color.
Boo.
That way, my wife and girls would know what I'm feeling, and there wouldn't be any doubts about what's going on. I'd love that if they just knew by looking at me to come close or stay away. That would really be nice. That would really be nice. That's my answer to the question here. What's our final takeaway on this tobacco, this opening night by Cornell and Diehl? Paul, you want to go?
Everybody else.
All right, I'll go. I think the tobacco is just absolutely fantastic. That dried fruit, the hay, the earth, the bread, the retrohale is really, really smooth, nice and floral. The elderflower, again, is pulling out more of that dried fruit sweetness from the tobacco, making the retrohale really, really smooth as well. I'm loving this. I'd give it 2 thumbs up.
Nick, what about you?
I love it. I love the floral note in there. It's really, really nice. The sweetness right behind it. The cocktail really pairs really, really well with it. For me, it's probably got to be, as far as pairings go, it's got to be probably one of the best pairings that Kendra has prepared for us.
Woo!
Happy dance.
All right, got some good kudos there, Kendra. Got some good kudos.
Ocean Master.
Nice. Dave?
I think the pairing's really awesome. It's fantastic. Yeah. The drink goes really well with bringing out the citrus notes in the cigar, especially like the raisin and the hay. But yeah, in the pipe tobacco. Yes, that's right. Thank you, Dan. And but
this is called a pipe.
I agree. I agree that this pipe is a fantastic pairing with this drink, and I'm really, really happy about it. It's fantastic. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Bree, what about yourself?
So I honestly feel like one note specifically on our rendition of this cocktail, our Prohibition style addition of egg white, I think is really, really rounding things out. In a way, the extra spicy edge that you get. But overall, I am like 10 out of 10, 100% on this pairing, just because of the theme that I mentioned before. Definitely getting a lot of the hay, a lot of the spice, a very like woody finish. And then I'm also like Paul, getting a lot of the elderflower coming out of the cocktail, and then the egg whites kind of jumping right on top of it and like pulling it all together in a very rounded way.
Now, I'm really interested that this is like the third pipe tobacco you've had, at least to my knowledge, and you started out with a little bit of 1Q, what we call Granite State here at Twins. But your first big serious bowl of pipe tobacco was Squadron Leader, which was this very smoky, mesquite, full-bodied kind of stuff. And this is a very different tobacco. Between the two, where would you lean? Where would you go back?
Oh man,
for another bowl.
That's tricky. So initially, I'm always very drawn towards like mesquite, towards like smokier types of tobacco. Like I love that campfire kind of smell. But at the same time, I think I would almost say it depends on what I'm pairing with it. I think like right off the bat, any given day, if I was like looking to smoke something that was like a little bit milder, perhaps with either like a gin cocktail, even like say like our Ultima Palabra, which has chartreuse and tequila, I would probably go with this tobacco. But the Squadron Leader, I would probably save for a day where I was gonna maybe be like sipping like a bourbon or a Manhattan. So I'd say it depends on my mood, but both really great.
Okay. Kendra, do you want to say anything about it?
Sure. My final thoughts is that I am no longer the potion master, but I'm the pairing master.
Oh, oh, there's Paul dancing.
Oh my gosh, we got Paul and Kendra each doing their own happy dance. Mm-hmm. Come on, Paul. You know you can do it. You can do the little happy dance. Come on. Get it moving.
Look at it.
Move
Hey.
it. There you go. This tobacco to me is a great illustration of what straight Virginia can be like. It is got lots of flavors going on. It's got some of that hay, wood. There's a little bit of grass. There's some fruitiness. There's some kind of nice spice that's going on in the background, and that stays with you on the finish of the tobacco here. It's very, very good. And this is also, I think, the kind of tobacco that if you're into cellaring, if you're into aging your pipe tobacco, this is just going to get better and better the longer you let it sit. So if you are into Virginia blends and you like mild to medium tobacco, and you're looking for something that is not flavored but has lots of flavor to it, then Opening Night by Cornell Diehl is certainly something that you probably want to try. And we have it here at Twins. You can get it with our curbside service. And like I said, if that's you, then I would recommend this tobacco. Just to kind of let you know what's going to be happening next Friday, May 1st. Again, reminding you that we're going to do a special event with Lauren Ferraro from Ashton. She's the New England rep for Ashton Cigars. We're going to be meeting with her from 6 to 7 o'clock right here on Facebook Live. And we're going to be smoking the Ashton Symmetry Robusto. And during that show, we'll not only talk with Lauren, find out a little bit about her. She's got a very interesting story herself, and her family has been involved in the cigar industry for a very long time. And it's going to be interesting to kind of dig into things with her about her own getting into cigars. But we're also going to be highlighting some specials that will be available for you at Twins with Ashton brands the week following the show. So we're very excited about that. At 7 o'clock, the regular Not Just Blowing Smoke is going to start. We're going to smoke an Ashton on that show as well, because we're still going to be kind of pushing all the deals and specials that are going to be going on. And for the show next week, we're going to be smoking an Ashton Cabinet number 7. So you can pick that up at either Twins location. And for the pipe tobacco next week, we're going to go back to a Peter Stokeby blend. We're going to be doing the Luxury Navy Flake. And that is a Navy Flake put out by Peter Stokeby, and that's going to be really it's a big seller for us at Twins. It's a big bulk tobacco. We haven't done a lot of bulk tobaccos. We've focused on a lot of tins with our reviews. So I'm excited to go and do something a little bit different. So that'll be from, again, 7 to 8, 8:30 will be our regular show, and 6 to 7 is going to be a special event. Excuse me. Special event, really kind of introducing you to the Ashton line and talking about the specials that will be available at both Twins locations following May 1st. And make sure that you take advantage of curbside service to pick up the cigar and the pipe tobacco so that you can be smoking along with us next Friday night, May 1st. And follow us here on Facebook to get notified of when that's going to start, and at Not Just Blowing Smoke on Instagram, so that you don't ever miss anything. So thank you very much for watching Not Just Blowing Smoke, the podcast that brings the wealth and knowledge and expertise and fun. I hope you've seen the fun of Twin Smoke Shop, New England's premier smoke shop, right to you wherever you are, whenever you want it. And make sure you stay in touch with us on all of our social media. And thank you very much for listening and watching. And that's not just blowing smoke.
Not just blowing smoke.
Another smoke.
Thanks, everyone.
And another day, baby.
Thank you.
Here we go.
Awesome.
Freaking a little much, Nick. Oh, look at Kendra's little smile. Look at the little smiles. That's very
too. All right.
All right, everybody. We'll see you next week.
Surrounded by leather in my brand new fancy car, rolling with the top down, smoking on a fat cigar. Cool breeze in my head, bittersweet smoke flying through the air. It's the way I feel, smoking on a fat cigar. Look at sweet mama watching me play guitar. She got long black hair and she's smoking on a fat cigar. Black silk stockings and the finest of white. Those curves and that stomach, she looking so fine. It's the way I feel, smoking on a fat cigar. Fancy clothes, diamonds, and big fine cars wouldn't be the same without a big old fat cigar. Drinking with the boys at Fat Cat Smoker Bar, talking about the master plans that'll make us go far. Such a beautiful, magical dream. Look into the end, we're home.